Okay, good evening, everyone. So we learnt all the querying different data types. Huh? So how to query different data types we learnt. So after understanding find, so you have one more. Actually, while working with database, what is the point is we regularly use one more method. Yeah, we have seen how to handle different data querying. For that, we are using which method? Find. Actually, sometimes we use one method. So that is nothing but db use sample db. Generally, to query the data, we used find. You have a db dot products dot find one is also there. So actually what happens, find is going to find one or many, but this is going to return only one. That means, for example, I given here category as what? Electronics. Then what it is going to do? Generally, it will return the electronics first occurrence. That means it returns only one. This will be later helpful when we don't want all, we want only first, only one record we want. Because what is problem in find is in future, not now, when we are connecting with backend technology, fetching the data. Suppose you are using find command. Find command always returns array. Always returns array. Actually, even one record also, it will return like array. That means, for example, what you done. So you return like this. So db dot products dot find. You return id as 2. How many it will return? Only one, that is matching with that id na? Because IDs are actually unique. It will return only one. It is showing here like object, right? See the final output, what it is showing. You can see the final output is like an object na? But it's not the same when we use server side logic. In server side, this find method, what it is going to do is generally it will return like this. What it will return is, it is going to return an array. Understood? Huh? I will put in a color. Yeah. Actually, it is going to return an array. In that array, one object. That means even to return one record, final return type will be what type? Array type. That means find command is always returning an array. Even one record also, it is written like an array. Then it is not good if you are fetching only one. Then how to access this? You know that in order to access this, I have to use data of 0 na, because always the first record is in 0. This is not great. That is the reason in future, if you are writing a query and that query is returning only one, then better always use find one. Find one. Find one cannot return multiple. It can return only the first occurrence, right? That's important. So while querying, you have to understand this concept one more point. So what is the node? is, so find method returns an array. It returns an array for any query. It is going to return an array for any query. So you can use find one that returns only the first occurrence. That returns only the first occurrence. And find will return array. Find one will return object. So syntactically db.products.find one. What this is going to do, first electronic product. That matches with the occurrence. Right. Okay, next important is while working with find query, find query is returning all the fields. Find or find one will return all the fields. If you want to return only specific field, right? You want to return only specific field, then how? For example, you can see when I search for anything, it will return all details. I don't want all, I want only title and price. I don't want all, I want only title and price. Right? I want to display only title and price. If you want any specific fields only, not all, then generally what we can do is, I will show in aggregation actually, db dot, we have to use what? Find products dot find. In the query, so we are defining, this is returning all, na? That query returns all. After that, you can put a query. Here you can put what are the fields you put. That means I want price, title 1, and I want price also 1. Like this I define. Suppose here I am writing the query ID is what? 1. And you see here it returns only those two. What does 1 means? 1 means include, 0 means exclude. That means what is the first block? First block is what to find. Understood? What is second block? What to show. Understood? What to find and what to show. I want to show only title and price. And the fields that you want to include, you have to put as one. Suppose I want to include all, I don't want image, or I don't want image and description. I don't want image and description. Then we can put find. What you can do is you can write what you want to exclude. Exclude what? Image, put it as 0. What else you want to exclude? Description. Description also we put it to 0. That means it is going to hide those two and display others. That means what it is not showing, image and description is not shown. It is showing title, price, category, rating. Actually, every product have a image and description also. Na? You saw na already every product is having image and description. Na? Those two are ignored now. They are not displayed. They are not displayed. So what to include, what to exclude, we can define. So generally find command returns all the fields. You can select the fields. That is another key point. So how? So another option, displaying only required fields. Displaying only required fields. So find and find one, return all fields of collection while displaying query result. While displaying query result, you can exclude or include fields to display in result. One includes, 0 excludes. Right. So syntactically, so we have db dot products collection dot find. This is the query, and here field 1, field and 0, field and 1. Like this we can give. Zero is excluded and one is included. So example, find ID as 2, title and price. find ID as to image description. This will show only title and price. Show all, ignore image and description. So that is how we can include, exclude the fields. Right. Next, important. So how to fetch the data and display the data and display only the fields that we want. Next concept is how we can handle aggregation. So we need another important is aggregation. Actually, one more point is there. Yeah, MongoDB provides dollar project operator to handle, include, exclude, and compute operations. Include, exclude, and compute operations. So it provides a project operator. Actually, it is mostly used in aggregation. It is mostly used in aggregation. In aggregation, we use this operator called project. For including, excluding, this is very much used. Actually, because you haven't learned any another database, so generally it works like select in other in SQL. It works like SQL queries, like select in SQL queries. SQL queries have a select operation. Which we will use now, right? We will see how to deal with that. So generally, we use this for including, excluding, and all. Later I will show. Now it is not suitable everywhere. Generally, what we do is db dot, so products dot find. Suppose that is the query. And here we use dollar, what is it? Project. And in this, generally what we do is we have to mention. So what is it? So title as what? One. Another one is price. Price is what? Some one. Okay. Now enter. You see it is showing an error. Why it is error? Because in aggregation I will show you that. Here what is the point is, so get set field, some dollar is causing the problem in the field names. It cannot start with project. Why? Because this project is used in aggregations. I will show you in aggregation how it will work. So that means what to include, what to exclude, and how to compute. Compute means, for example, we want to do average, sum, product, and all these. Then we can compute with some operators. Result can be stored in one reference and use. For such things, we use this project, right? Not mandatory, but professionally, this is very much used, which I will show you now how to use it. So, generally, where to use this? It is used in aggregation. Aggregation. So, what it does is dollar project. So, it is going to use here. So, field 0. So, field 1 cal is nothing but expression like this. So this is going to include, exclude. Include field. This is going to perform specific operation. Right. So now we will see how to use in aggregation, how we can deal with that. So first point, you have to learn about, so aggregation in MongoDB. Aggregation. What is the concept of aggregation is, aggregation is the process of manipulating the data present in collection. Is the process of manipulating the data present in collection. Generally, find is for fetching the data, and this is manipulating the data. Data aggregation depends on the type of data in collection. MongoDB provides various operators to aggregate different data types. To aggregate different data types. So generally aggregation is an array with multiple expressions. It is an array with multiple expressions. So you can handle multiple expressions. So generally how we do this, that means how we can handle. As I told you, data type wise, again, different aggregation methods are there. Right? So for example, here, how we handle that. We have db dot products. On that we have aggregate. Aggregate is a method. This method uses an array. In that array, we write the query. So that means how do we define the query? Suppose I'm using dollar, what is it? Project. And in that we are configuring an object. So here we are defining, suppose, title. It is including another one. So price. So that is also including. Now, what this project can do, it can not only just use the existing fields, it can create a new field. It can create a new field. That means what you can do, I can create a new field like what? Average price. Am I right? That is a new field. Now, how to calculate the average price? So to calculate and return the average price, it needs an operator now. Means it needs some calculation now. That means we need to define some operation. What is it? I need to find out average of price. Then we have a operator dollar $AVG. AVG for which one? Price. I will tell you all the aggregate functions. I'm just telling you a query. Generally, how we write the query. This is not the correct query. I'm just telling you the queries. Because first you need to learn the operator, or how to use the operators depending on different data types. So here, what is the purpose of project? It is an operator that specifies what to include, what to exclude, and what to calculate. It can create new fields and it can handle the fields and it can perform that operation. Right? So here it is saying price is not there. Why price is not there? Because operators means, I will tell you, generally operators means what we do, we need to access their value and use the values. Later you will see that. That means it is saying price is not defined because we need to access the price. How to access, I will show. What is the means, generally from which table you are accessing, what are the field names you are accessing, everything you need to configure. Let's see. So first important, what is the point? Multiple expressions. How you define? db dot collection dot aggregate. Aggregate is an array. In that we have to put a query, and it needs the option like what? Project, dollar project. Like this we need to configure. Here project, include, exclude, and configure a new field to store the result of any expression. The result of any expression. So, what are the aggregate methods? Remember, hundreds of methods will be there. Learning all of them will take so much. Here we are going to learn only what are majorly required and majorly used, because learning all will take lot of time. So hundreds are present or aggregate methods are present, right? So we will see few important methods that are required for handling different data types, right? What are the methods here? So data type wise, we will see. First, we'll see number aggregation. Number aggregation. What is number aggregation? Actually, it is the process of manipulating numeric type data, which includes number, which includes signed, unsigned, float, double, decimal, all this. Right. So, what are these number aggregation methods, operators available? Generally, we have operators like dollar sum. So dollar min, dollar max, dollar average. These are aggregate functions. So generally aggregation functions will have count, right? So these are aggregate related sum functions related to numbers. Sum, min, max, average, count, these are all. Generally, one important point is, if I am dealing with the same aggregations in our server side script, then we can use our JavaScript mathematical operations also. You know, in JavaScript, you learned about math. We can use those math functions and handle the operations. But in database, some basic functions are these. These are the basic. As I told you, so many are there. If you want complete list, you can browse their website, MongoDB, and in that website you can search for aggregate methods will be there. So you have aggregation, right? So aggregation related methods are present. You can see aggregations. Hundreds of methods are present. I'm not using all of them. I think a complete list is present. I will post one document which will have the complete list. Huh? It is not showing this. In the documentation, you will find. Means hundreds of these functions are available. This is aggregation pipeline. You can see here data type wise are there. Data type based. So aggregation complete pipeline will be there. It's okay. Don't worry. Later I will post them. Huh? I will post a complete list later. Right. So then you will get that. Because actually one table is there which will be easy for learners. API is there. It's okay. Let's not waste the time. Later, somewhere one option is there. Okay, somewhere it will be there. I will give you later. Huh? One table is present. In the table, all the methods will be there. However, they will not divide according to data type. I'm just classifying according to data type and I'm giving. They will give all in one place. They will not give any type wise. Alphabetically, they will define. Now let's see how to use one simple example we will see. So now what we need to do, currently our data is not having all the relative one, but we can find average of price, right? Okay. So first, can we use directly operators in JSON queries? That is the concept here. That means operators like addition, subtraction, multiplication, we can't use operators. We have to use only aggregation methods, techniques only we have to use. So, for example, now we will write one query. This query is, so find all find all jewelry products, all jewelry products, and get the average price of jewelry whose price is above, suppose I'm giving 500 like this. Now here you need two important things, a complex query first, and after that we have to calculate the average. How to calculate average I will show you. First you write the query for this part, right? Means what is the find query, write and show me. Aggregate query we will see later. Find query only you write and show me, because we need find and aggregation. Find means what? I need all jewelry products whose price is above 500. Right? Now write and show me first that query. All jewelry products. First you write all jewelry products with price above 500. How you will write the query? Both are enough, huh? And or nothing is required, huh? Done. Right. If you can do this, then we can handle. You need a operator, na? Which operator? Without operator, you cannot write two expressions in find command. Huh? By default, it will take end. If doesn't take, if you are writing through any command later from any database query, that is the reason. Then why they give an operator? And they given an operator means there is a reason for that. Yesterday I told you some aggregation also, right? So this is category, right? So what you people have written? db dot products dot find directly this query na you written. So category is what? Jewelry, jewelry, and what else? Another query. Huh? What is it? Price. Huh? Price is what? GT greater than how much? 500. Huh? So it is not okay. Who said default is end? You you should remove the arena. Then it will work. Huh? That means we don't need to use array. Huh? Not working. Hmm? not working. I thought you already tried it. No? You just think that end will work. Default, right? So operators are compulsory. We have to use end. Na? Yes. So we need to find what is it? Dollar what? End. Am I right? And we need two queries. One query is price. Another query is what? Category. And this must be in a query. Na? Main query. Na? Oh, something is missing. Dollar end colon. Huh. It is going to get that, right? So now the point is we need to find average and all. That means we need to find the average price, minimum, maximum, and other details, right? So to this query, we must able to add the extra field. What is the additional field we need to add? That is average price, and we need to calculate. Actually only one is there, it's fine, but if you want to add all of them, then how we do generally? What is the query is we have to define here. One more point is there, because generally when we are using aggregation, it will temporarily get the result and display the result. When it is you are finding average, when you are finding sum of the products, one more point is you have to group the data. That means how you can find the average price. If you can bring all the price at one place, then you can find the average price. That means while doing aggregation, one more important thing is how you group the data, because all operations cannot be performed on all type of data. That means some data requires a group of values. On group of values, we can perform. So generally here, if I write C, DB, what is that? Products. So on the products, we have to use aggregate. Aggregate uses a query. So in that, what is it? Suppose I'm using dollar project, and here we are defining what to include, right? So that means suppose I am including the options like what? Suppose I am including the field name is what? Price. I will put here price. Okay, is what? One. And I will include some title is also one. So the problem in this query is when you run this, you can see it is going to include and display all of them. That means it will display the title and price from all of them. Suppose I want to add one more field, right? I want to add one more field additionally to this. That means now what to do? To add one more field. So this is here we have to define one more field. What is the field? I am writing the field as suppose average price. Am I right? I am using average price. Then what is the query here? So here average price, we need to calculate average of price. That means here, suppose average price, I just give empty just to show you how to add one new field. I'm just giving empty. That means nothing. And you can see a new field is created. In the new field, you can put anything. So what is the project purpose in aggregation is it can find out, it can include the field, exclude the field, it can add new field. Now in that new field, you can put anything, a message, or you can put some expression. How to write expressions in that? Generally what we do, so here we need to put an expression here. Expression means again parenthesis, curly brace. Okay, now what is the expression? So suppose we want to find the average. That means how you find the average? Dollar AVG. AVG. Average of whom? Price. So, but see here, I am writing price like this. That means it is saying that that price is not defined. Why is price is not defined? Because this is an expression. In that expression, it expecting not a field name, reference of field name. That field reference, na? That means it is not expecting the field name, it is expecting the value inside the field. Suppose I am using dollar price. That means I am expecting, it is not showing. So why it is not showing? Because now we need to get the value present inside this, right? Not the reference here. Suppose what we do here when we are defining, so if it is a average and average of normal string I given, you can see it says average is null, right? Now what we have to do is get this price and display the price related value there so that you can build an expression into this. So for that we need one more thing to handle. Let's see that what is it here is, yeah, this query I will show you first here, right? Aggregate requires a field to configure temporarily so that the result of expression or a specific value is defined into field dynamically. Into field dynamically. Syntax is like this. First, I will just put the temporary field. That is the basic syntax. So here, very important is field name is referred using referred as a string with dollar, so that it is so that it is accessed. It is its value is accessed, so that its value is accessed. So how do we define? That means in a string is it is returning null. Null means field name is not provided, na? Field name is not provided. That is why it is returning null. Am I right? So here we will mention the field name. What is the field name in string? Dollar. What is it? Price. That means we are printing the price. It will calculate and show. It will calculate the average price and show. But this is individual. We don't want individual. We want to group all electronics and find the average. Generally, what this is doing, it is finding the average of price for every product individually. Not every product individually. We have to group them. So we need one more concept, how to group the data. If you group the data, then all electronics will be one place. So initially what it is doing, so what is the query here? Syntactically, we have to mention the field name like this. So dollar price. That's how we define the field. Just for your clarity's sake, I will put all of them in line by line. Price, title, so that it gives a little clarity. That is the general way of writing the query. But to find average, to find the sum, to find the minimum, maximum, we have to group them. That's important. First, if you know how to add a field and write that, then we will see how these are grouped. Suppose this is okay if we want to find the product. Suppose you want to find quantity into price. You want to create some total, right? I'll show you those options. But here, what is additional? I don't want all. I want only jewelry related. Then how? I want only jewelry related, not all. Then generally what we do is in this is the array which is doing aggregation work. Before the array, we will put a expression. This here we are using, what is it? Category. Category is what it is looking for jewelry. That means what you are doing, you are finding that category. Category is not there. Uh, Acha, so I haven't used any pipeline reference name. I have to use pipeline later. First, generally default it is uh, pipeline means I have to use a group and all these. Huh? This actually indicates that so it requires group by or filter. We have to use operators there. I will show you. Actually, this requires an operator like what? Filter, or we need an operator like what? Group. By using filter and group operators, we can get only the data and we can display. That I will show you how to handle the group. So one more option here is, so group and all I given a no, right? See, to find and return aggregation on aggregation on specific data, you have to filter and group data. Actually, so aggregation pipeline requires, so two important, one is dollar filter, another one is dollar group. We have to use this. We will see how we can handle the aggregation. Now, for example, can we use any default operators in these expressions? First, we will see that, right? Default operations like what? Suppose, let's see the operator. What is the default operator is? Just we will write the expression. Yeah. Use sample DB. Okay. DB, this already we designed this now. I will remove this product. Okay. In the project here, I'm using dollar price, and this is not using anything. Okay, I'm using dollar price, and I'm using some operator, suppose +1. That means I'm incrementing by 1. Means these are the default operations we are defining. Field name will be different. You can see it is not allowing any default operation. That means generally what usually other SQL queries allow is they allow to write some operators. What are those operators? Like addition, subtraction, multiplication, some operators we can perform. So later you will see in JavaScript, usually when you write the logic for connecting with database and performing operations, we can use default operators on that. Means we can use some default operators, but here we don't recommend. Always but you will see in future in MongoDB queries, there can be these operations configured by default, but that is done from a script level. Directly, Mongo queries are not allowing any type of operators on them. As I showed you already, we have JSON, right? In JSON, you saw functions are not allowed, but actually in query, functions are allowed. We are using those functions. Similarly, when you write queries, you will see people using some operators. You will be thinking surprisingly like why he is using operators. Operators are not allowed now. Operators are not allowed directly on your queries, but from script when you execute you can use the operators. So if you see in the queries, if any default operators are done, you have to know that they are not directly configured inside the queries. They can be executed through the scripts. Through script it is possible. Later when you write server side script it is possible. So if anyone asks you a question, this is also one important note we will give. The note is nothing but you cannot directly use any on operators in queries. So while executing from Mongo shell. However, queries are allowed using script. Operators are allowed using script. That is what we will see in future. Now we will see how this filter and group by works, right? What is the purpose? Because aggregation is incomplete without filtering and grouping. Aggregation means what? Finding sum of all the values, finding average of all the values, but how you will group those values, that is important. That requires the options like filter and group. So directly if I apply, already it is working, but what is the problem? It is working already. It is showing average price. This na? Yeah. So previous one. Yeah. Huh. It is showing the average price, but it is only for individual object na? We don't want individual. Group and find. So filter and find. That means I need to get only electronics and average. I need to group and filter. So two important pipelines are required. One is filter, group by, right? We'll see how to use them, how to filter and group by. That we'll see in next session, right? Monday, we will finish aggregation part because I will explain one number and other methods, string and all I will give, you can try them easy. The same option. If I explain one, rest of others you can easily try. I will not explain all methods. One, two methods I will explain. You can manage all of them. Then we will go into update, delete, and other CRUD operations. Okay. Remember, find is only important because if you can do find, later update, delete, all depends on find. That's the reason we need to spend little more time on this find. Okay. So Monday we will finish aggregation part. No? Right.